participants were not here.
Arthur, I don't have the link for the.
Okay, so she's going to send it now.
Okay, we're live.
Yeah. Could you share the link in DT Learners group?
Yeah, sure.
I'll do it, Artuha. You can get started.
Okay, Sagnik, just give us a second. We'll go with the introductions first. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's Construe the Constitution Socratic Dialogue. Today, we would look into how can we take the Constitution policies and implement them into our organizations. We have two teams here. I would like the teams to go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. I'm Pratima, and I'm the coach for Team Voice for Workforce, and I'm currently working in the Student Unicorn Lab.
Hi, I'm Sagnik. I'm a member of Team Voice of Workforce, and I'm currently working in Case Lab.
Hi everyone, my name is Navneet and I'm a team member of Voice of Workforce and I'm currently working in UBS Lab.
Hi everyone, so myself Vignesh, I am in Team Voice of Workforce and I am Deep Thought Tech Team.
Thank you, Team Voice of Workforce. Over to Team Constitution Catalyst.
Hi everyone, I work in Vishkarma as a developer. And today I'm a coach of the Team Constitution Catalyst.
Hi everyone, I am Alok and today I'm representing Team Constitution Catalyst and in DT I'm working as in a Team UBL Growth.
Hello guys, I'm Ashani. I'm in Team Constitution Catalyst and I'm currently working in Winning Culture Lab.
Greetings everyone, this is Raghuveer sir and I am a team member of Constitution Catalyst, currently a member of Case Lab.
Thank you, Team Constitution Catalyst. Over to you, Paridhi.
Hi everyone, I'm Paridhi. Currently, I'm heading the Career Acceleration Lab, and today I'm your co-moderator for this SD.
Hi everyone, I'm Arthua. I'll be your moderator today, and I'm working as a growth hacker at DT. Okay, which team would like to go first for their pitch?
Yeah, we would like to go first.
Okay, could you also explain why have you chosen this name before you start?
Yeah, so reasoning behind this particular name is to our entire pitch is based on using the constitutional framework to show how people who work in the front lines or sometimes when people's voice are not heard. So we want to give a voice to every person in an organization in our particular workforce. So that's why we chose this name.
Thank you, Samik. You can start your pitch. Please keep in your mind, you'll only have 2 minutes for the pitch. Savik, you're on mute if you're speaking.
Yeah, sorry. Hi everyone. So our team is basically sharing a constitution-inspired solution to problems that organizations nowadays face a lot, where on-ground employees or frontline employees who usually exist at the bottom of any organizational structure or an organizational ladder face problems where their voices or their feedbacks or the problems that they face are not heard a lot by the people who are expected to hear them. There are current structures like HR departments and other grievances departments, but those structures have also sometimes failed in doing this. One of the best examples for this is Amazon. They have a facility of warehouse department and fulfillment center department where employees nowadays face a lot of problems with their time schedules and regarding their paychecks, and their voices are not heard by the people who actually need to hear them. And so we took the constitutional model of PILs, and what as PILs can give a voice to every citizen of India to speak up against any uh, discrepancies in the government policies or in the actions of government. So we also took that structure and we plan to create a advocacy forum through which all employees across all departments in any particular position in the structure of Amazon or in any organization can easily give their grievances and can get their voices heard.
Yeah, so coming to the justice, and justice and fairness are not abstract ideals. They are actionable principles that must be permeate every aspect of the organizational culture. And fairness goes hand in hand with justice and ensures everyone has access to the resource and opportunities without prejudice or favoritism. So next slide segment. Yeah. So coming to accountability. So how do we build accountability? Accountability is not about a blame, or it's about creating a culture where everyone, regardless of their position, so takes ownership of their actions and their consequences by implementing the clear expectation, performance management, consequence for non-compliance, and transparency in decision making. So we can ensure ethical, fair, and sustainable practices, and also the approach not only mitigates risks but also fosters trust, improve moral, and enhance the organization reputation in the long run.
Yeah. So while we're implementing the structure, there are some rights and responsibilities that we look into, that we consider as the our topmost priority, that we must implement this. So first of all, while doing something where many people have their trust in us, so we offer transparency, we offer also anonymity to them. If someone reports something, we don't want to invade their privacy, or so that the other authoritative heads don't invade their privacy, or to take some action against them. So that's our main rights, to actually be transparent and also be anonymous, so that we can keep fostering the trust or the employees that they have in us. Next slide. Yeah. So the key values of our PIL is going to be accountability and transparency. So accountability deals about how, if there's a grievance caused by a leader, he's accountable to for the actions that are that are going to be decided by the community that we are going to implement in the PIL. And also, when all this as a whole is implemented, the employees are going to have more trust in the committee, that their voices can also be heard. They can also get deliver feedback, and by this empowerment can be caused in the organization, where performance can also be improved. So yeah, this was our pitch. So at lastly, what we do, we empower voices, we ensure fairness, and we build trust for the organization to be streamlined and run in a performance manner. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Team Voice of Workforce. Over to Team Constitution Catalyst for questions. Who's going first?
Yes. You have mentioned about the transparency and the anonymous, right? So how are you going to take up these parallel things? Take up these two things as parallel, as transparency also, and also uh, making the person anonymous.
Yeah, I will take up that question. So the entire concept of having a advocacy forum in organizations is to keep it autonomous and to keep it a separate entity from the already existing corporate structure, where people who will be running that entire organization, who will be present in the committee, who will actually view the grievances and the complaints from the employees or from the people, any person in the organization, it would be on-ground people. For example, if I take Amazon's example, then the people who actually work in the warehouse department and in the fulfillment center department, their representative from their departments can be present. And along with that, we will also include specialists in maybe labor laws. For example, in Amazon's case, there is a labor law issue, right? So we can include labor laws, and similarly in any organization, depending on the problem, we can include specialists in that department who can actually not only understand the issues, understand the grievances, but this will also separate that entire system from the already existing structure. So it will provide an anonymity, and it will provide a sense of security in the minds of those who actually put the complaints, so that in case if some superior,
can we keep the answers short?
yeah, so ultimately there is no fear of retaliation from any superiors, what usually happens like that, because it is a totally autonomous and separate entity.
Alok, do you have a follow-up question? Go ahead.
So you mean this? You have a setup corporates, right, organization, and you are building something uh, that is not a part of the organization. The people who are not. What type of a structure you are making?
So like nowadays in companies, we have HR departments, right? HR departments are usually connected with the company's main on-ground all the departments. So this structure is connected to the company, but the people who will be working in it, or the people who will be running it, are not answerable to the or people who will work in the leadership positions like CEOs and CFOs. Instead, actually the grievances, if there are grievances against the CEO or CFO also, then those can also be addressed to these forums, usually which normal traditional methods like grievances departments or HR departments cannot really achieve nowadays.
Okay.
Does anyone have a follow-up to that?
Yeah, I have a question. What measures can be taken to build accountability across all levels in an organization?
So I'll take this question. If you talk about accountability, uh, so mainly our PIL is focused on the people who are in the down the hierarchy, where they can't approach the authoritative heads directly. So a measure of accountability can be a committee that will find out the root cause of the problem, and also it will we can enforce some laws or some other organizational laws that every leader will fall into. So we're trying to do that.
Ishani, do you have a follow-up to that?
No.
Anyone else from Team Constitution Catalyst? Okay. I have a question. So when you say you've derived this from constitution policies, can you give us an example? What are the specific policies that you've derived this from?
So this entire policy is derived from the concept of PILs, as in constitutional definition of PILs. So PILs are were essentially created to give a voice to every person uh, in our country against any particular problem, with whether it is related to government or whether it is related to any large corporation. So even if the person that is actually filing a PIL is not exactly the grieved one, they can still file a PIL on behalf of any particular group or any particular organization. So the power that PILs give to us citizens to raise a voice against any person, regardless of their authority or their designation, is what we try to implement and incorporate in current corporate structures.
Couldn't that power be easily misused, considering that anyone can file an anonymous complaint? So how are you setting up a system that is fair?
Okay, yeah. So there's a forum. So an advocacy forum where like if an employee like let's say if he tries to misuse it, so the stuff he says or the incident he is reporting will not directly be implemented. As I said in the previous answer, that the committee, which is it's an autonomous committee, as Salnik has mentioned. So this will try to find the root cause of the particular problem mentioned, right? So first it will be like a layered approach. finding the root cause, like finding the one who's accountable, and also making him accountable for what he did. So we don't just go ahead with the stuff every employee report. It's like a layered approach for it. So the main thing is to find a root cause, which the committee does that, which is an autonomous committee. So yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
Yeah.
since we are short on time, we'll close this session here. We'll with team Voice of Workforce. Before we end, would anyone like to share their reflection?
We would have another SD on this next week so that we are able to cover both the teams and both the teams pitch. But since it's already post 9, we'd like to close with reflections.
Can I go first? Yeah. So, our base concept was actually PILs, which I was not acquainted about. I thought when I got to know about PILs, I was like, this thing, I was actually, not acquainted with it. So it was really fun to actually work with the concept of PIL and implement this advocacy form so that I can understand that, how PIL actually works and how it can derive something beneficial to our organization and its employees from it. Yeah, that was my reflection.
Thank you, Navneet. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
can I go next?
Yeah, sure.
So the whole process of coming up with the idea, structuring our own pitches for Socratic dialogue gave me a very insightful perspective in order to frame a particular structure of a company that we would like to envision in order to encourage the very great and very prosperous and very friendly environment in a particular company. So just like the team Voice of Workforce has like incorporated the idea of public litigation, PILs. So similarly, we have like somehow I won't give you any spoiler of what our pitch is regarding. So it is in the constitution, in the constitutional framework itself. So we are kind of got a very broader perspective. I got a very broader perspective in a way to handle various issues or problems in order to pinpoint the genuine problems as well as the false one as well. So it was very insightful for me, and I feel very like fascinated about getting to know this new perspective.
Okay, thank you, Raghuveer. Over to you, Vignesh. You wanted to share your reflection.
So initially, the idea we thought of was public interest litigation that Sagnik mentioned before. So we didn't have any idea about it and how we are going to implement it. So when we gone through the process and the pitch, so we got a different ideas and we also added our own questions and reasons. So how we are going to implement it? If we are going to implement it, means how we are going to make it a fair, as we are speaking of fair justice, and this is what we are focusing on, how we are going to make it. So we came up with an idea. So from this HD, it's both a different experience for me, both the ideology and the implementation. So I learned a new thing that we can connect different things based on the ideology. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Vignesh. With this, we'd like to close this session. Next week, we'll have another SD on this topic. We're hoping to gather more insights with that.